Hello, guys. I am live. Live is really surreal, actually, because I go on here and I'm actually live, and it's like, oh, is anyone actually going to turn up? It's always that initial thing. It's like, is anyone there? And we have people turning up. Hey, hey, be nice to say hello. How are you guys doing? If you want to say hey, say hey. Let me know how the lighting is. I'm kind of getting angles. Let's turn it around. What about there? How about that? Or what about? Oh no! Ooh, no. It is good to be here, my friends. Michelin, good to see you. Wendy, nice to see you. How are you guys doing? We are going to be talking about the 9 habits of highly contented people today. But we've got some other fun things to do as well. I just got a bit of just some fun, cool things. I want you guys to... Oh, God, no. Oh, no, Will. Stop messing with your hair. Again. What is it with this fucking hair thing? Such an idiot. Look at... What is going on? Everyone keeps telling me to get a haircut. Not only here, but here. I'm shaving my beard. Hey, Wendy. Hey, Fiona. Hey, Catherine. Hey, Tess. Great to see you guys. Anyone else want to say hi? It'd be lovely to say hi. It'd be great if we could have a little hug here, wouldn't it? Well, we're going to be doing a live event soon, so let's hold out for that. We will all have a group hug. That'd be lovely. I am doing Movember, apparently. Victoria Thorpe, thank you very much. So you're going to be seeing just this thing here in a couple of weeks, which is kind of fun, I think. I did one years ago, and I kind of looked, a bit weird, but there you go. Like a 70s porn star, if I'm honest. I'm going to just experiment with one last thing with the lighting. I'm just going to do that. Is that weird? It means I can kind of see what I'm doing a little more. Is that okay, everyone? Is that all right? It's just because I've got my notes down here. Hey, Carol. Good to see you. All the way from a windy Ireland. Absolutely. It's been windy, hasn't it? Been windy. I mean, we've got some serious waves coming our way on the weekend. I'm really excited about. Before I start today, I just want to say how blessed I have felt seeing your videos. This group is coming on leaps and bounds, and the connection and community and thing that we're building here is really an amazing thing. And I am absolutely massively grateful for everything that you've been posting. Thank you so much. It just inspired me, and I think that also what I found so interesting was how different everyone's videos were, and I thought that was really, really interesting. How we just all see the world so differently, and I love that. And it makes us so unique, and it's like the song, like I said, I did a video. It's like Guru Ramada song that goes, if everybody looked the same, we'd get tired of looking at each other. And I wanted to reframe that to, if everybody thought the same, we'd get tired of listening to each other. And it's although my singing's terrible, it's this thing where it would be tiring if everybody was the same. Life would become really dull really quickly. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to play a real quick game. This is a weird little game idea that I've come up with. I just want to throw this out there. I want you guys to let me know what you think of this. It's a little bit of fun before we get into the guided meditation, because we're going to do this little game and then we're going to hit it with this breathing, and we're just going to get really centered. And I just want you to unwind from a busy day. I'm sure you've been incredibly busy, and I'm here to be your accommodator to calm. That's a new expression. Let's play a game. This is called... I made this up in the shower a little while ago, and I was having a giggle to myself thinking, this could be quite fun. I want to do this, and it gets a little raucous at times, but also a little bit serious as well, so just go with this. This is called Wellness Warrior, Yay or Nay. And this is something that, you know, by episode 300, 400, even when this podcast is getting how many downloads it's going to be getting by that point, I still want to play something like this. I think these kind of games are kind of fun. Now, would a wellness warrior... I'm asking you guys. This is not a rhetorical question. Would a wellness warrior scratch their bum in public? Yay or nay? Now, I say yay because a wellness warrior doesn't give a fuck what people think of them. Moving on. Would a wellness warrior say sorry if they knew they were wrong? Well, of course they would. Yay, they would. Because a wellness warrior is humble in their approach to life, and they are able to admit when they've been wrong. This is an essential characteristic of a wellness warrior. Would a wellness warrior... Now we're going back to silly. We've got like silly, really silly questions, and then we go back to serious ones. How do you like that? Would a wellness warrior... Are you ready? Would a wellness warrior pee in the shower? I'll let you think about that one for a second. I'm gonna start this one off and say yes, because a wellness warrior is admitting of the truth, and the truth is that the moment the water hits the back of our body, we tend to pee. Moving on. There's going to be outcries now. You're going to be saying all sorts. No, I never pee in the shower. Listen, if you're telling me that you never pee in the shower, then you're a liar. Square up. Sorry, I'm going to call you out. You're just a liar. No, you might not be. You might be just much nicer than me like that, and you just don't pee in the shower. But the thing is with the pee in the shower thing, it's like it just goes down the same hole anyway. Tess, thank you for admitting. Yes, you do pee in the shower. Carol, you're lying. Speak for yourself. Carol, you are seriously lying. I know that you pee in the shower because you're human. Okay. You might not. I don't know. This is a bit of a silly game, but I hope you're enjoying it. Now we go back to serious. Okay. I will not pee in the shower, but your horrible cold showers tried to make me. Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry, Fiona. Would a wellness warrior beat themselves up if they got worried or down? If they got worried about life or if they got down? Well, of course, that's nay. They would not beat themselves up because they know that it is more than okay to go through what you go through. And if we ever assume that we're going to have this thing wrapped, that we're going to be perfect humans, then this is the biggest fucking fallacy of all time. We're not going to be that. I want to make that one of, if not the biggest declaration that we do, and the thing that I do. I want people to know that it's okay. I think that one of the biggest reasons why people suffer from depression and anxiety is they don't make it okay. Depression and anxiety is happening to everybody. Everybody has anxious and depressing thoughts. Like every single fucking human in the world has depressing and anxious thoughts. This is what happens. We have a fucking brain. This is what happens. We're all the same. Everybody is in this game together. I'm checking out my hair again, aren't I? We're all in this game together. We have these things called thoughts. If we ever assume that we just aren't having thoughts and we're not vulnerable to that, and we put up this big shield like, no, it doesn't, that's going to make it worse. That's what makes it worse. That's what gives us problems. When we just become loose and vulnerable and open and just like, yeah, it's cool. I have these things called thoughts, and sometimes they're not perfect, then it's okay. And it's why it's so important in happiness, to be authentic. Authenticity is what really creates happiness. When you're authentic about going through different emotions and different thoughts and different things. And like, for instance, I'll give you an example. Like last week, I noticed I was with people and I was discussing with them how my wife and I have real difficulties sometimes, and we work through it by doing X and Y and Z. And they were like, whoa, you could see their faces going, oh, whoa, no, geez, don't talk about like deep shit that's wrong and that's hard. And it's like, what the fuck? By talking about it, by making it okay that we're admitting that we're just human, it's like, it's cool. And then, like, when it's cool, it's just, everything goes back to being cool. It's a fucking paradox. It's a massive, massive loop. It's like the people who are like, no, we mustn't. Shh, no, we must sweep it under the rug. No, we must. This is where we get issues. And you look at the countries in the world who have the healthiest well-being mentally, and there are always those countries where you see people being very, very expressive and willing to cry and talk about emotions and talk about relationships and be open. And those countries, unfortunately, we're from a part of the world where people tend to clam up and be very private and very closed in. But if we can just learn to be more open, I think that's going to be to our benefit. Yay or nay? Moving on. Look at the hair, guys. Can someone fly over to England and give me a haircut? Seriously? The trouble is I can see myself in the camera. That's what's fucking me up here. Would a wellness warrior fart on an aeroplane? Yay or nay? Would a wellness warrior fart on an aeroplane? Now, I'm going to say yay. Now, you know why? Because everybody farts on an aeroplane. And you know why? Because they know it's not going to have an impact. Because there's so much air conditioning, it just gets sucked into the air conditioning. And there's so much noise that no one can hear you do it. Now, if you, Carol, thank you. Thank you. If you've just said yes always, that you always fart on an airplane, thank you very much, because you're admitting that's the truth. And if there is a human being who's willing to stand up and put their hand on their heart and say, I've never farted on an airplane, they're lying. Would a wellness warrior fart on an airplane, yay or nay? I say yay. I say yay because there's air conditioning. Last one. This both silly and serious game. Would a wellness warrior eat sugary food or drink alcohol? Yay. But they do it in moderation. They do it in moderation, and that is the essential characteristic of the lifestyle a wellness warrior undertakes. They have a tiny bit of alcohol here and there, and a tiny bit of sugar here and there, but they never let that spill into needing it and relying on it and having it because it needs to relieve stress. And in doing so, they notice that they get more joy from it. And that's really the key to living a healthy lifestyle is to have everything in moderation. It's the oldest and most kind of almost boring saying in the book, but it's unfortunately it's true. I'd love it to not be true. Like, yeah, just like smash down as much as you want, but of course that's just going to make us feel shit. And when we feel shit, we can't be the kinds of people that we want to be the next day if we've drunk loads of booze the night before. And that has like a negative downward spiral. And you know, let's say we're hungover, we are more likely to then snap at people and not be as kind to ourselves as normal, and you know, not choose to think about what's good about our lives, but more a tendency to think about what's bad in our lives. Like, there's an ongoing spiral there, but that can also come from sugar. You know, there's sugar hangovers are just as bad as alcohol hangovers in a way. So when we just have a little bit, like a little glass of wine, and just a tiny little bit of chocolate, we go to bed feeling good, wake up the next day feeling good. So it's to say that yay or nay, would a wellness warrior have alcohol or sugar? Yay, but they would have it in moderation. My friends, let's breathe. Let's breathe. What kind of day have you had? What kind of day have you had? Have you had a busy day? Have you had a stressful day? Has it been great? Has it been calm and control? Perfect? What has your day been like? I want to know. And so let me just put this up here. This is going to end in tears. This is going to fall on my face. That water bottle. What kind of day have you had? Because we are now going to take some breaths. Do a bit of guided meditation here. So I just want you to close your eyes. Just shut your eyes and just listen to me talking to you. So just take some deep breaths. Deep breaths. Deep breaths in on 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and out on 1, 2, 3, 4. Take a deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I want you to hold the breath. Hold it there. And then just let it out like this. So I'm going to practice with you. Let's go together. Let's go again. I want to keep doing that breathing pattern where you breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath at the top and let it out. And I want you to keep doing this for the next few moments while I talk to you. So we're back. I want you to imagine that you are walking through the path of your life. Now, keep taking breaths as you listen to what I'm saying. I want this path of yours to be something that you create. This is not a path I'm creating for you. I want you to visualize a path that it might be on a hill, it might be walking through a forest, it might be walking along a beach. It doesn't matter. I just want you to keep breathing, keep listening to me, and I want you to picture this path, okay? I want you to be walking on this path now. I want you to notice your feet and your body, or whatever it is that you're moving through this path. I want you to just notice the view that you see. I want you to just notice the colours. Can you hear any sounds of birds flying over? Can you feel the texture of the sand, let's say, on your feet, or whatever it may be? I want you to just keep breathing and keep noticing what you notice on this path. And as you go along this path, you may start to notice that there is something in the rucksack of your life path that you've been maybe carrying with you for a wee while. Something that's been weighing you down, playing on your mind, something you're really having to deal with that you could let go of. And what I want you to do now is just take another really deep breath. And as you breathe out, I want you to just see yourself taking the rucksack. And I want you to see you, just put it on the floor. Whether that's the sand in front of you, or whether that's just a muddy path, or whether you're in the woods, or wherever it may be, I want you to put the rucksack down on the floor. And then I want you to just leave it there. And I want you to stand up, and I want you to take in the view and look around, and again, take some deep breaths. And I want you to notice how good it feels to feel that lightness. How good it feels to feel the lightness as you step. How good it feels to walk on this path, having let go of something that might have been inside the rucksack. Because this is not to say that you will ever get rid of things that will enter the rucksack of our life, but it is to say that if you can just slow down every now and then and connection went for a second there, that if you can just slow your breathing down enough, that you will notice that you don't have to have a perfect life to be perfectly happy. You're going to inevitably have things that go back into the rucksack. This is life. This is what happens. But what we need to do is just take time to take off the rucksack for a moment and just live in the present. Take breaths and notice how good it feels to just re-engage with the connection between your mind and body. That is all. Now let's take some deep breaths again. Let's start to come back into the room. Just open your eyes. Deep breaths. Let's do 2 more. And then just last one. Great stuff, warriors. Great stuff. Well done. That is the truth. That is the truth, is that we're going to have stuff that's going to end up back in the rucksack. This is what's going to happen. This is life. We deal with resistance, and I don't think we should ever assume that we could ever get rid of that. I think the more we try to get rid of all of the stresses in our lives, the more stressed we become, because we become control freaks. And I will be the first to admit that I have tried to control every aspect of my life in the past, and I still do at times now. It's probably deep rooted in the behaviours I picked up from my mum, who's very similar to me in some ways. I don't know. I mean, who knows where these things come from? But when I really try to control everything about my life, it becomes like even just the littlest thing that gets in the way. Because of my rigidity, I get all like crazily stressed, when if I just kind of just loosened up a little bit and so, you know what, I can't control everything. If I learn to do that, and I have done that, and I am doing that more, I feel calmer. And my whole life feels calmer, and I'm able to remain happier. So my friends, I hope you enjoyed the guided meditation. We are just going to run through some bullet points on what contented people do daily. The first thing they do is they let others be right. And what I mean by that is they understand that everybody has their way of seeing the world, and not one way of seeing the world is more right than anyone else. It's just that we all interpret it completely how we interpret it. And I'm back in the room. It keeps disconnecting. We're back here. It's not to say that we are letting people in extreme circumstances walk all over us, or come out with racist, horrible, mean comments, or whatever it may be. We're not letting the extreme circumstances go to one side. But what we are saying is that 9 times out of 10, if we just let other people be right, we get to stay feeling in peace. And if we get to remain feeling in peace, we notice that actually our point of view and our way of seeing the world isn't necessarily any more right than anyone else's. And we've really got to summon that humility. And if we can, we're going to live a significantly calmer and happier life. I had an example the other day where I was in a cafe and I was doing some work on my computer, and this woman had to squeeze by, and I had to move my bag and stuff, and that was fine. It was a very tight cafe. I moved my bag to somewhere else in the cafe, kind of just to be polite, just to kind of free up some room. 20 minutes later, this woman comes over, all het up with me. She's like, "You must move your bag. You never know what people are going to think. It might have, a bomb in it. People are going to be suspicious. Blah blah blah. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good that you're doing this." And my ego wanted to just go, "Well, fuck you, man. Like, seriously, fuck you. It's a bag. Leave it alone. And I've just moved for this lady here on the right. Leave me alone. Fuck off." But it would have made me so stressed. So I just went, "Oh, yeah, you're right." And I just went over and grabbed my bag and moved it somewhere else and moved it closer to me again. Job done. It's not easy, but it is a incredibly powerful skill to learn. Let others be right. Number 2, highly contented people are assertive. They know when they need to say no, and in doing so, they remain more in control of their time. I think that what we're trying to do in today's society is be everywhere and do everything at all times. And not only is it impossible to stretch ourselves that thinly, it leaves us drained, tired, and unhappy. So what happy people are able to do is to just admit that they can't be everywhere all the time. And in doing so, remain more in control of their state of well-being. And I know, again, this isn't easy. Like, I had an example the other day where somebody was trying to get hold of me for a big media thing, and this is very exciting stuff for me. It's great, but I looked at my schedule and I just said no. I just square up. I didn't even write a long sorry email. I just went, "Look, I can't do it." We don't need to justify ourselves, do we, warriors? We don't need to explain ourselves to death about what we do. In a way, the more we do, the more we try to scratch for approval, the less of it we get. If we just own our space and just go, "Nope, not doing it," people listen to that message so much more, because ironically, if we go, "Oh no, well, you see, because I've got that, and I know," and they give all these weird excuses and weird reasons, that makes us seem like we're unsure about what it is that we're saying. Whereas if we just go, "No, sorry, I'm busy," the message really gets across, and people kind of they really receive the message much more powerfully, and then they realise, "Whoa, this person's got a backbone. I'm not gonna walk all over them." Habit number 3 is that highly happy people, highly contented people, are able to say sorry. The ego wants to hold on with a death grip sometimes. Like, I know full well that I get tremendous happiness from the relationship with my wife, if not in some ways the most happiness in my life. And I know that if I'm going to want for that to continue, then I need to be humble enough to say sorry when I know I've been wrong. But God, is it hard? It is so hard sometimes. What is that's pulling us back from saying sorry? It's an ego. It's an ego that doesn't want to admit that it's wrong. But when we can just say, "Look, honey, I'm sorry. I was an idiot earlier, and I was just tired, and I'm sorry. Can you forgive me?" When we say it with that level of when we're saying it with what we might call sincerity, it really gets across. And when people see that from you, they see you as a person who is willing to put down the shield. And what that says to them is, "I love you. I really, truly love you. And I care about you." And when you get that from someone else, they feel more love for you. And so if they feel more love for you, you get to receive more love. So not only do you feel good by saying sorry, but they end up feeling so much more for you, because they're getting to see the real you. Because what we do in life is we put up all these shields. And if we can't ever end up saying sorry with a real sincere tone, like people do say sorry a bit like this. They go, "Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean," Whereas really, that doesn't get across to people. If we want to really say sorry, we've got to say, "Look, my friend, or Al, my wife, by the way, I have to say sorry quite a lot. I do tend to fuck up quite a bit. I am but human. But when we say sorry, it's like, look, babe, I am genuinely sorry. I fucked up, and I'm sorry. And when we say it like that, it just gets across. And when we get that message across, we get to go back to feeling contented, like instantly, because we put our guard down. They get to feel good. Everyone feels good. But just learn to say sorry when you know that you need to. It's a skill. You develop it over time. But I have noticed that people who have an inability to say sorry are also those people who struggle the most in relationships. And it just goes hand in hand. They just haven't got that humility to better say sorry. And it's a shame, because they could have such better relationships if they just learnt that skill. Number 4, highly happy people meditate every day. Why is that something that makes us happy? Well, the reason why, I believe, from my experience of research and reading, is that when we breathe consciously, we return to our default settings. So you know, on like an iPhone, you can scroll to the bottom and you can click like restore factory settings. You know that bit? It's like doing that. So any of the impurities and biases and tendencies and insecurities and things we've held on to and things we've not let go of and problems and stresses and difficulties, everything that we hold on to inside of this thing here is what's the best way to describe this? It is funking up the wiring to our innate well-being. That is the best way I can describe it. It is fraying, it is breaking the wiring to our well-being. And when we breathe, when we just it's like clicking restore factory settings, because you, my friend, are innately well. And I think that is the coolest thing in the universe. When you just slow down to breathe, you are well without even having to try to be well. And that is why meditation is the single most, number 1, powerful happiness and well-being habit that I would want anybody to cultivate in their lives. And if I was to just get one person on this planet to cultivate the daily discipline of meditation, I would die a happy man. And I actually have that written in my journal. It's in the very first page of my journal. I write a journal every night. And in my journal, it actually says that if I can make one person cement the habit of meditation every single day, I will die a happy man, because I believe it's the most important thing that we could all learn. And it's a lot of what it is with meditation, if not the most important thing with it, is that it helps us observe. And when we observe the world, we notice that by no longer judging ourselves or judging other people or what we're up to or the state of the weather or anything, the less that we judge and the more we just observe, the more we notice that life is really cool. Life is really beautiful and really quite spectacular without even having to try to make it beautiful and awesome and spectacular. Because this is what people get confused about. They're like, oh, it's happiness, it's like new age, and people get they get this misguided view that happiness practices are new age and positivity and funky and just out there and like singing Kumbaya, and it could not be further from the fucking truth. Mindfulness and meditation is not teaching us to be happy, be perfectly happy. This is not what it is teaching at all. When you're practicing meditation, you are going in to find what you are finding, and when you go in to find what you find, and you are present with the moment, even if you're dealing with a lower moment, you acknowledge it as real. And when you acknowledge it as real and you make it okay to be experiencing it, guess what? You go back to feeling well almost straight away. Big tip for meditation is, in fact, it's the number one tip, really. There are many. We can go through a podcast on that soon if you want. But the number one tip is never go into meditation with a goal to become calmer, to become happier, to become like enlightened. If you go in with a goal, it puts pressure on it. If there's pressure on it, then what we tend to do is not get what it is that we're actually looking to get from meditation. Habit number five. Happy people stretch. They stretch their body, they remain flexible. I saw a guy on the seafront a few days ago in my hometown, and he's 93, and he goes swimming in the sea every day, even in winter, and he does these stretching routines. And I remember talking to him. I just saying to him, why do you do your stretching? He said to me, Will, he said, if you want to live a really happy, well, and strong life, you want to be able to keep moving, because movement is joy and joy is movement. And so he just said, stretch every day. And I never forget him saying that. It's something that will live with me forever, because this guy, I tell you, 94 years old, and he stretches about 15 minutes, sometimes 20 minutes every day, swims in the sea, and he's like 94, and he's just mobile, and he's strong, and he's well. Movement is joy, and joy is movement. So just cultivate that habit of daily stretching if you can, every single day, and you will notice that by being more flexible, you can keep moving. And if you can keep moving, you will have hobbies, and you will have walks, and you will have dancing, and you will have all these wonderful, wonderful activities that come through movement and the endorphins that come from it. But flexibility and stretching your whole body has got to be in the base. Just if you want to just learn a stretching routine, my God, my friends, I'm going to have some come up soon, but just go on YouTube and type in 10-minute yoga routine or 10-minute stretching routine. Oh my God, my friends, the content that we have available to us nowadays is huge, but I would recommend that you do it every morning. So you do your breathing, you do your meditating, but you also then do your stretching as well, every single morning. If you can hear my daughter crying, bear with me. She's got a cold, bless her. Not only did I put her pants on the wrong way round after swimming this afternoon, which left her very uncomfortable, bless her. She's like, Daddy, my pants are wrong. And it turned out I put them on the wrong way round. Daddy, stupid boy. I put her pants on the wrong way round, bless her. That is her crying now, and if I have to go suddenly because the shit's hit the fan, bear with me. Habit number 6. Highly happy people have goals. What gets a bit confusing for some people is that they think that in order to be contented with the moment, we've got to have no goals. We've got to be just in the moment and everything's great and it's all awesome. And, if you start to work towards stuff and really put in some damn hard work towards what it is that you want, that we're losing touch with the moment and just be free, man, and just chill and don't do. And the point is that viewpoint is just as much imbalanced as the viewpoint of just constantly working. To have happiness, we've got to strike a balance between work and rest, between pursuing our future goals and play, between doing the things that we know creatively we are capable of doing and also living with some abandon and fun and laughter. If you can find the match between the two, you're going to be significantly happier. So all I want you to do today on this podcast is just feel and get a sense for yourself. Where are you at on that axis? This is just play, laughter, just fucking around, joy with your friends, movement, chilling out, living in the moment up here, and down here is work, chores, going towards your goals. Where are you on that axis? Are you someone who's more down here, or are you someone who's more up here? Because if you can get in touch with yourself in that way, you can start to see if you can rebalance either end of the spectrum. So let's say if you're someone who's constantly just trying to live in the moment and just have fun, but doesn't necessarily plan or work towards the future, could you start stretching your comfort zone a little bit and start pushing yourself a wee bit, because it's going to leave you feeling greatly inspired. And when you feel inspired, you feel significantly happier than if you didn't stretch yourself. When we step outside our comfort zone, something magical happens. And that magic really leads to greater happiness. But on the other end of the scale, if we just work and work and work and work and work towards our goals, and we're just always in pursuit of the future reward of what we're looking to do, make more money, lose weight, meet a partner, have our creative dreams come true, find a house, whatever it may be. If we're only ever going down this road, then again, what we can do is lose touch with the play and the fun and just living in the moment that can come with just getting a bit more balance. So all you can do is just know, am I down this end on the scale, or am I up this end, and then just adjust accordingly from there. Number 7. Highly contented people gain significant pleasure from the smallest activities. Whether it's just a brownie that's cooking in the oven, the smells, whether it's the first sip of coffee in the morning, whether it's just that little dance in the kitchen while you're cooking dinner. Happy people understand and know that you don't have to have a spectacular life to feel spectacular on the inside. The truth is that we are constantly in search of something, some answer to this sort of void that we have inside. But the truth is, we can only ever fill that void by becoming more present with the simplicity of what's happening right now. And that is just down to the tiniest little things, like just looking at the plate you're about to eat of dinner and seeing the colours light up. That's a tiny thing, but if you're mindful of it, it's a joy. And if you can string one joy to the next, to the next, to the next, you end up with more joy overall in your life, and you end up happier for it. This is about practicing mindfulness. And what I want you to do and recommend that you do is just see how much more mindful you can become. Because, of course, it is so easy to be eating food, but having your mind racing on to, like, what's going on next and what am I doing tomorrow and what, and it's so easy to be sipping your morning coffee, but having your mind racing on into what we've got left to do that day. And it's why it's so important that we just slow down to the simple joys and slow our breathing and bring our senses and our mind towards the moment more. And what I recommend is that you practice the mindful 3, I call it. So it's to do 3 things a day that you do with sort of a full mindfulness, whether it's a walk, let's say 1 thing, let's say 2, it's a meal, and let's say 3, it's a coffee. And just say to yourself every day, for those 3 things, I'm going to be just extra mindful. And in doing so, and being more mindful of just those 3 activities that you choose for yourself each day, you're going to notice that if your mind starts to into the future, like, I've got this to do, this to do, that to do, this to do, that to do, you're going to go, oh, no, bring it back. Take a deep breath and now just be present. And I'm going to sip this coffee. I'm going to taste the taste of the coffee. I'm going to feel the good feelings inside. And when you make yourself do that and be more mindful, you just feel so much calmer. And it's why you can go back to this great saying. I love this saying, which is that you don't have to change your life to change your life. There you go. Habit number 8, they let their state, their emotional state, happy people let their emotional state change like it would naturally. They don't fight it. They don't fight with themselves. Like, imagine your emotions are like this. They're like this. Just waves. Up and down. Waves, waves, waves. The only reason why anyone would ever stay down here in a lower wave is because they want to be back up here. That is the only reason. I just want you to look at that now with my hands. The only reason why someone would ever stay down here is because they really, really want to just get back to here. And the more that they want to get back to this higher bit, the more of a struggle they put themselves under down here, and the longer they stay down here. So it's really interesting, because you'll notice what really happy people do is that they're just authentic. They just are just allowing of themselves to be low or be down or be worried, and then they just know it will pass. They know that if they're going through sensations in their body and they're just feeling a bit tense and really stressed and just not very well and frustrated, they know that's just going to pass. It's going to pass. And the way that they manage that is they breathe. You know, all you can do is breathe most of the time. You know, you can't necessarily change your life and change the circumstances of it right away. You just breathe. You just take a deep breath and you know that it will pass. So just remember that wave thing. If you ever experience that, the only thing that could ever keep us down here is that we're fighting to get back up to here. So just let your life, let your emotions go through those waves and you'll feel way more contented for it. The last one, habit number 9, is that really happy people invest in relationships. There was a study done over 70 years by Harvard University. It's a fascinating study. And they wanted to know conclusively, over 70 years, with 300 subjects, they were going to follow these 300 people through their lives. And they were going to survey them and question them and talk to them every 10 years about their well-being, their happiness, and all these things. And the leading indicator amongst all these different parameters and variables, the leading number one indicator of whether or not a human being in this study would be happy or not, or at least highly contented, would be whether or not if they had good relationships. Good relationships that you truly invest in and you invest time in lead to a level of richness and happiness that is hard to describe. And the reason why it's hard to describe is it's love, and love is this eternal mystery. It's something that, of course, we can say is an emotion. It's oxytocin, and ultimately that's a hormone that runs through our body that makes us feel good. But that's when scientists say that that's all it is, then it makes it very reductive, because love is far more than that. Love is spiritual, and when we live a life that's led by love, a life that invests heavily in the love that goes on around us, and we really make it our aim to serve and to give and to be vulnerable and to say sorry and to say nice things and to just really be the wellness warrior, really, that we can be, we feel love for ourselves too. And we don't know really what that is in a way. I don't necessarily think we can describe it in lots of ways. But love is the most innate, I believe, at least, I don't know about you, reason why we're here. Reason why we're on earth. It's to love. And to experience love, and to sort of just to have it be the reason and meaning as to why we're here. And of course, as Viktor Frankl once said, in man's search for meaning, man is looking for meaning in his life. Man is always in search of meaning for meaning in his life. And the meaning that I get, all I've got to do is just look into my daughter's eyes, look into my wife's eyes. Sometimes just look into my own eyes and look into my own heart. That's all the meaning I need. That's the reason why I'm here, is to experience and feel love for myself and for others, for life in general. And I think that the best way to experience love is to put the shields down, to be vulnerable, and to get to know who you really are. And in doing so, you go on a journey of self-discovery, and then on that journey, you are able to figure out what sometimes the blockages to love might be, and in doing so, learn how to do your best to release those blockages. And I think that the best way to do that is to meditate, because in meditating we go back to our innate well-being, and when we feel that innate well-being and we observe the world more, we find it just so much easier to be loving. And the easier we find it to be loving, the easier it is for other people to love us back. That is all from me tonight, my friends. My poor daughter is crying again. I'm going to go and see if my wife's okay. because Daisy does not sound well, bless her. She's like, "Ugh." She's got this croaking throat thing. And for any of you who missed tonight, there's always a recording of this podcast. It is also very, 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 very close to being edited and being available to download on audio. That is going to be something I really want to do, and it's going to be on SoundCloud and iTunes. So that is going to be available soon. There is so much to come with this group, but let me just say I have been blown away by everything that you guys have been posting recently. It's been such a joy, and onwards and upwards, my friend. The group is growing. It's growing at such a rate. I've never seen it grow so quickly, and it's just a sign of how abundant and happy the people are inside of it. My friends, I love you. I will see you very, very soon. I'll see you tomorrow. All the best. Bye-bye.